WWE have a big problem. An AEW star leaving imminently. My review of the Survivor Series Go Home episode of Raw. And more. I'm Ollie Moustache, and this is the Moustache News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Get exclusive bonus videos over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Happy first, but really second, we don't talk about the other first time, return to wrestling anniversary, CM Punk. At the end of last year's Survivor Series on the 25th of November, CM Punk walked out to the Chicago crowd and immediately pissed off two co-workers, Drew McIntyre, who legitimately stormed out the arena on CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, who channeled his apparently shoot dislike of him into an off-air angle. Punk has posted, "Happy 1-year anniversary of my return to WWE. Thank you to all the fans for waiting, chanting my name for years, and carrying me on this journey. Thank you to my family and friends backstage for the warmth and continued support. Thank you Paul, Nick, and Bruce for the trust and making it all happen. Love you all. We are just getting started." Heart emoji! Wow. Maybe Punk really has grown as a person and has learned to work professionally and successfully with his co-workers since his experience in AEW. Oh no, wait, he's put a picture of Seth swearing at him in the background. Same old Punk! In more Punk posts on social media news, he also shared his text exchange with Stone Cold Steve Austin on the night of his WWE return, where he sent Stone Cold a photo of his head on a WWE production truck calling him "my stunning friend," a reference to his stunning Steve Austin gimmick in WCW, to which Steve replied, "Yep, that's right, Punk has Stone Cold Steve Austin just saved as Steve in his phone. Goddamn, that was a monster pop. Maybe the loudest I've ever heard. Awesome. 3 erect penis emojis." Oh, you say they're biceps. Right. Well, I say what I say what I see. And a year later, another AEW star is set to jump ship to WWE too. After months of speculation, Fightful Select is reporting Penta's AEW contract is set to expire next week, and unless anything drastic changes, he is expected to leave the company and become a free agent, meaning he can appear anywhere he wants immediately. Multiple sites reported that Penta had told people he was going to leave for WWE and had been in contact with the company, which, if true, is kind of contract tampering, as he is still under his AEW contract. The apparent plan was for him and his Lucha brother Rey Fenix to go in a package deal straight to the main roster. But Fenix's contract is thought to have been extended due to time missed because of injury, scuppering WWE's potential plans to debut them at the same time. It's speculated that because WWE didn't get the Lucha Bros in the summer, the Motor City Machine Guns were used in their place, who were originally thought to be going to NXT. WWE lucked out there, as the Machine Guns have slotted in great with the SmackDown Tag Division. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about the women's side. Jade Cargill was written off TV with a kayfabe attack angle on last Friday's episode. The Wrestling Observer then revealed this was the cover for a real injury, with her out for 3 months. According to PW Nexus, though, the situation is even worse than first feared. The 3-month time frame is a best-case scenario, and it's reportedly a neck injury. A WrestleMania spot is currently in limbo due to this, and could be out up to a year. This will have major ramifications for the top of the women's division. Not only is Jade one half of the tag champions with Bianca Belair, which will presumably have to be relinquished, it also scuppers the year-long build for the potential Jade versus Bianca match at WrestleMania. Additionally, with WWE introducing 2 new women's mid-card belts, they're now lacking more star power depth on the main roster. But speaking of long-term booking, the final episode of this series of Monday Night War has just gone live on Patreon. After years of losing, could Luke finally defeat Pete in his last chance? You can watch the whole series now at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. But now that series is over, you might be asking, what next for Monday Night War? Well, you could say things are gonna get a little bit moustachy. Nothing but lose to you, Luke. My hair, my pipe bomb, my moustache street cred. So now, I'm coming for the one thing that matters most to you. More than your child! Monday Night War. Luke, Say hello to your new My GM opponent, me, Ollie Davis, where the numbers don't lie and they spell disaster for you in Moustache Night War. Starting on the 9th of December, here on patreon.com/WrestleTalk. But the first episode will be available, the draft day one, publicly on Parts for Known on the same day. But the rest of it will be on patreon.com/WrestleTalk exclusively. War! Now it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw in about 5 minutes. The go-home episode for Survivor Series took place from Glendale, Canada, and for a change was actually broadcast live. We didn't know the results in advance. The show opened with the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther being interviewed in the ring by Jackie Redmond, who essentially asked him, Why are you so crap ever since Cody Rhodes beat you? Are you gonna cry, Gunther? You gonna cry, you little bitch boy? Damien interrupted before he could answer. Or cry, to again say Gunther's old aura had gone. Gunther responded by hitting him in the head with the microphone, to finally give the ring general a good showing in this feud. For Damien to then put him through the announcer's table and pose with the belt. Can't remember many other heel versus face feuds where the face has won every promo and brawl segment in the build. But that's what Priest needed to make this match credible. It's just a shame it's been at the expense of Gunther's badassery. And I hope he can reset back there once Survivor Series is done. In actually the best match of the night, the Creeds took on LWO's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee in a tornado tag. The stipulation allowed all 4 men to be in the ring at the same time, making it a series of exciting high spots rather than WWE's usual build to the hot tag template. Julius Creed was so impressive, hopping up to the top rope for a superplex and effortlessly hitting a top rope 450, but it was Rey Mysterio, still finding ways to surprise me after all these years, who was my favourite. He took out both Creeds' legs when they were up in the corner for a double superplex with a 619. Mysterio is one of the most innovative wrestlers to ever live. But the best innovation here was American Made actually getting a win. Chad Gable twisted Rey's mask behind the referee's back, letting the Creeds pick up a tight rolling victory. Hopefully they can continue this momentum for a much more credible 2025. Bron Breakker then took on Ludwig Kaiser after Kaiser ruined his match against Sheamus last week. The Sheamus DQ finish was inevitable, it was just a question of when it would happen. Thankfully, Breakker and Kaiser put on a very stiff match for the time they had, with the most brutal spot being something as simple as Bron doing his charge around the ring to be thrown into the corner of the announce desk. That got me more than Darby driving a car into a truck. Sheamus eventually caused the DQ, which started a huge pull-apart brawl between them all that lasted through an ad break. Adam Pearce must have been drinking again, as he just came out and screamed, "Fine! You can all have a title match at Survivor Series!" Which is great. Sami Zayn, Jay and Jimmy Uso were backstage, where Sami was skeptical about working with CM Punk, while Jimmy said they should trust in the wise man. Yes, because Paul Heyman has never screwed over anyone before. They loaded up SmackDown, announcing Jey Uso will take on Jacob Fatu in a War Games Advantage match, and that Punk and Roman will talk face to face. Solo Sikoa got a cool little mob boss vignette later in this episode too. After some R-Truth comedy, Finn Balor hyped up the Judgment Day in their clubhouse ahead of their War Raiders match, saying they're all one big happy, successful family, which is exactly what a faction about to implode would say. And that this attitude is what's going to make them tag team champions for 154 days and counting. I think what's going to make them tag team champions for that long and counting is just never defending the belts. In truth, what actually kept them champions was interference. The War Raiders got some really big crowd reactions, but this was a letdown considering how this title defense has been built up for over a month. Dom and Carlito caused the distraction, letting Finn take out Ivar on the ropes, and JD got the win. Who do you want to see take the tag belts off Judgment Day? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. The best thing on the whole show, however, wasn't a go home for Saturday's Survivor Series. It was a go home angle for next Monday's Raw. We finally got the promo video announcement that the New Day's 10-year celebration will happen on the 2nd of December. It cut back to Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston watching the screen backstage, reminding them of the good times ahead of their tag match. They said they love each other just before they went out, making me hope they're going to the celebration on good terms. But as soon as the bell rang against the Alpha Academy, the communication broke down again. Woods tagged himself in because he wanted the start, they argued, and Otis and Tozawa beat them. in under a minute. One of the lowest ranked tag teams on Raw just squashed the New Day, and it finally broke them. The camera followed Woods and Kofi as they stormed to the back in one uninterrupted take. Once backstage, all the tensions from the last several months, hell, the last several years, blew up. Kofi said there was a reason him and Big E never let Xavier call the shots. He's too reckless. Woods countered that if he didn't take risks, Kofi would never have become world champion. It was Xavier who pushed him into that situation. Kingston said Woods will never be a world champion because Xavier isn't good enough, and that's not Kofi's fault. While Xavier said Kofi pissed away his reign and Kofi Mania in 6 seconds to Brock Lesnar. This was a remarkable performance by both men, almost structuring the verbal argument like a final sequence of a wrestling match. And in that high emotion, they might have said things that can never be taken back. This was one of WWE's best segments of the year, and I'm genuinely looking more forward to next Monday's Raw than anything on War Games, and I'm really looking forward to War Games. The Mind Games continue as Nikki Cross attacks Scarlett Bordeaux while the rest of the Final Testament were trying to find the Wyatt Six. She left a message scrawled on the mirror that read, "Everyone has something to lose." Weirdly, we got a recap of a segment before Raw came on air, not an actual live segment of Adam Pearce unveiling the Red Brands version of SmackDown's Women's United States title, the Raw Women's Intercontinental title. The announcement probably should have been saved for a future show where they had more time, as doing it this way made the new belt feel like an afterthought. But wait a sec. Oh my god. How are they gonna crown the inaugural champ? An inaugural champion must be crowned some way. Probably. I think it's, oh yeah, it's a tournament. Oh yeah, it's a tournament. The Ladyface War Games team argued earlier in the show over who should replace the injured Jade Cargill. Io wanted Kairi Sane, Naomi suggested Bayley, and it ended with Bianca Belair tensely telling the leader, Rhea Ripley, she should decide. It was the most edge Bianca's had in a long time. No, not that one. This was resolved in the show's main event, where Bianca took on Nia Jax to decide whose team gets the War Games advantage, and the path they've chosen is psychologically janky. First off, the faces won, which never works as well when the good guys always have the advantage in War Games. And secondly, the way Bianca won here was supremely dodgy. Nia nearly had the match won clean, for the likely 5th member of the Ladyface War Games team to reveal themselves as Bayley. She knocked Nia into an exposed turnbuckle, letting Bianca get the win. So the way Bayley proved that she's trustworthy to Bianca and that she's changed from her old cheating ways is by using her old cheating ways. All in all though, this was a very good episode of Raw at 74%. Go to patreon.com/WrestleTalk now to watch the full series of Monday Night War The Last Chance. And also find out who the most exaggerated WWE star heights of all time are. There's someone bigger than Andre the Giant? Click the video on screen now for that.